Hello, and welcome to Secret Saturday stream. Quiet stream, but I think we're gonna slay. I think we're gonna get a lot of stuff done. So, first things first, I'm noticing I have a Photoshop file up, and I have not saved it, but I've already checked it in. And sometimes I do this where I check it in and I get all scared that I didn't actually save it. Then I checked in an old unsaved version of the file. So I'm just gonna check it out. I'm gonna go to my textures folder here. Textures, and it should be just Lighthouse. Oh, there's a lot of things that start with light. There it is. Oh, there's a lighthouse cliff, lighthouse interior texture. So I'll go ahead and check out that file. And why not just check the metadata here? Lighthouse interior texture. Looking good, looking good. Okay, very good. And then I'm gonna actually save it, and then I should be able to exit out here. All this stuff can exit out. Okay, and then we're just gonna go saving lighthouse interior text. Just don't want that to be unsaved there. So it's a big texture, so it'll take a minute to check in, and then we have so many things to do. It's good. We have lots of things to sink our teeth into here. I'm gonna figure out what was I doing. I just projected lighthouse interior. That's cool. So the spores in the dark forest, I wanted to take a look at the spores in the dark forest. Jacqueline was saying they're really hard to see, especially when it's raining. So I want to set myself up to actually be able to test this here. Let's turn off the dark forest. I'm gonna set the game start settings to developer start settings. And then I'm gonna place the player by the front door. Hey, Saravati. Yeah. Yeah. On a weird schedule. Got like a little mini work day while my son naps. And then I take him after he wakes up until he goes to bed, which is always getting later. He's supposed to go to bed at like 8:30, but he didn't go to bed till 9:30. And then I try to do like an actual work day, and I go to bed. Hey, Ryan JQ. I should. I'm hoping I can stream to like at least another, let's say 2 or 3 hours. That would be sweet. All right, so we got the developer start settings, and I just want this entry to take me to the dark forest. So that's the first thing. Make sure dark forest cave. Let's just make sure it goes to the dark forest. And then should I even save? I don't think I need to save this necessarily. Hello, Ali. Welcome. Fahad. Doing good? Feeling good? Ready to rock? All right, so I think I fixed this. I've got a sheet here. Jacqueline is testing. She's playing the game again. Just played it, but she's been testing through the game. So let me bring up that. So gonna get, first of all, let me close out of this. I don't need that up. And then, let's see. Find those tabs. I think I've got, yeah, another tab over here. Here we go. Okay, here's the spreadsheet of stuff. And the top priority ones are just right at the top here. So I'm going to see how many of those I can get through. I'm pretty sure that there's one about going deeper into the forest. There is no cave to advance in the Nocturne Forest. That should be, we should be on that. We should be fixing that. Okay, entering Nocturne Forest through entryway brings me deeper. I think that's already fixed. Pretty sure. Pretty sure that's already fixed. It is so dark in the dark forest. I'm just wondering if we're going to need more light in here because I can barely see. I wonder if we're going to need some kind of color grading stuff because it's just really dark. I don't know if even color grading will bring out the contrast, but we'll try. I don't like to rely too much on color grading, but this one's done. So I'll just mark them like green, I guess. Green is done. Okay. Ryan GQ asks, where does she play the game? At her desk. Yeah, usually at her desk. Sometimes she plays it in the living room on the TV. We have a computer attached to the TV, and it has Steam, so we can always update the game and play it down there. But usually she plays it at her desk. All right. So we're on that, and the spores are the big one. Really hard, impossible to see if it's raining. So I'm just gonna see if that's see if I can see what she saw with the spores. Let's try that. Fahad says, I have a question. How can customize out assets for all platforms like PC, Xbox, and especially like low PC to run our game? I have a good explanation. Also, if you have a low budget PC. Well, I mean, usually you wouldn't really change the asset much. Usually you would have graphics settings, and the graphics settings would adjust things like, you know, post-processing and draw distance or like distance for LODs stuff. But usually wouldn't necessarily swap out entire assets based on the platform. At least I've never really heard of a commercial game doing that. So trying to find the spore. So is that a spore? I'm wondering. Like, I think that these are spores right here. Let me do my catchnet settings. But they're already pretty hard to see, especially because we already have spores floating around in the forest. I'm wondering how we're going to make it easier to see. These things right here. I don't know if you guys can see them. And they're actually everywhere. So we have like bright ones and less bright ones. Just very confusing. We're going to have to find a better way to do that. Doing great, Wannabe. Hello and welcome. Okay, so let's check out if we've got the spore catcher settings. Spore. Perfect. And then I'll go and check them out, and then I'll force a storm, and I'll see if hard to see. They're already incredibly hard to see. We're gonna have to do something about that. It's so easy to just be like, oh, we'll make them green, but we just don't want them to be green. How about, okay, force storm. All right. They're actually not impossible to see, but they are very hard to see. So I don't know what we're gonna do. And let me catch this up. Okay, yeah, they're super hard to see. They're actually one of the easier things to see in general, but everything's hard to see in the forest when it's raining. So I mean, I can barely see anything. We're gonna have to brighten up that forest. This is what we're gonna have to do. Kind of a bummer because it does look nice. Okay, we're gonna have to get a LUT for the dark forest. First of all, let's check out the dark forest interior data and just see if there's a spot that we can stick a LUT. So here is interior LUT. Yeah, so let's check out the dark forest and just check if we already have a LUT. There's a bunch of LUTs. I don't know which LUT is the one that we need to use here, but I think it's, I don't know what the LUT format is. I'll probably need to check that. Fahad says, how can we expect to see this game on platform? I think that might be a translation issue. I'm gonna assume this question is what platforms will this game be on, and we will definitely be launching on PC and consoles as well, although we're not entirely certain which ones. So it's actually interesting. This LUT makes it really easy to see. But that LUT is definitely working anyway. I just need to figure out which... Can I swap it out in real time? Will it update? I'm wondering. Or is it only when you enter? Okay, no, it's only when you enter. So if I were to leave and then come back, it probably... That's weird that it sticks around. It's weird that the LUT sticks around. It doesn't go back. Very strange. I have to look at that as well. Elena, hello, welcome, welcome. Bulb Turtle, hello and welcome. Dropping by to say hi. Rock on, hello. Thanks for dropping by. All right, so that sounded like a raid. I don't always get the raid notification, but let me go check. Bluepin Studio, thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. Also, thank you for the follow as well. Thank you, thank you. Things are going. They're going. A little scary. All good. I appreciate the raid nonetheless. So I'm gonna have to check the... I know I have a card for this, for the LUT thing. Come on. It's just so hard because this... Oh, here we go. All right. This is in the done column. Okay, so that's... Do we have a LUT for when it's rainy? Tiny Crush Brighton 1. So at least I know that Tiny Crush Brighton 1 is the correct format. So let me just look at where that is. Tiny Crush Brighton 1. I'm just going to check out. I hope it's in a folder. It is. It's in a folder with a bunch of other LUTs. So I'm pretty sure that all of these LUTs are the ones that we can use. There's like all these ones that say almost normal. Just going to be so annoying. Tiny Crush Brighton. I'm going to try Tiny Crush Brighton in the dark forest. Okay, let's do Tiny Crush Brighton. That to get through. Yeah, I mean, I think most exciting things are a little bit scary. That's normal. I think the best adventures are a little scary, right? Hot asks, how much does it take to make a game all from ourselves? Well, I suppose that depends on the game. But this game, the game I'm working on right now, which is called Songs of Glimmerwick, I will go ahead and you're from YouTube, so I'm sure you've already heard of our game. My wife and I and one other full-timer, we've been working on this game for 6 years full-time. So in our case, it takes a lot, but we make very big games, so let's check out what the Tiny Crush Brighton 1 looks like in the dark forest. Gotcha. All right, rock on. Well, thank you for that, Fahad. Appreciate it. Thanks, Elena. Okay, so Tiny Crush Brighton does add a bunch of contrast. It doesn't add that much brightness, though. It makes it more saturated. I guess I can see better. I suppose we'll roll with that. But it does look a little bit like red. I'm not sure I'm crazy about that. Also, we're going to have to add a solution for those roots because it's pretty annoying to navigate them there. It's weird that the LUT doesn't go away. Let me go back out of the dark forest and check out if the LUT goes away. I'm getting a little sidetracked here, but sure. Okay, so the LUT did not go away. Stuck around. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I guess I'll just put it. I'll put it in Jenny's list right here. Interior LUTs don't go away when leaving the interior. Repro. Start game from, let me just find the name of the start setting, which should be Spore Catcher, right? I'll just copy the name of the start setting. I'll just want to make sure to give her the exact repro I have. Enter into Dark Forest, which has a LUT. Leave back to the leave back to North Courtyard. LUT is still applied. Let me just make sure. Light Crush. Let me just go to that LUT folder and just find a crazy one. Oh. What? That doesn't seem right. Should be a few. Okay, Tiny Crush. There we go. We'll just recommend Toxic. You can give a crazy one to make the effect easy to notice, like Toxic. Even though LUT is still applied even in North Courtyard. Okay, we'll do that. Cool. Okay. Hey, Alsend, welcome, welcome. Today I've got, Jacqueline has been playing the game again, and she has these very high priority items that she got like in her first 12 hours, I think, of playing. And I just wanted, I think they're mostly things that I should be able to do. Some of them maybe will be for Jenny, but I'm just going to see how many I can just knock out real quick. Because we want to have people either test the full game, or I'm going to test the full game for the first time in actually a very long time. Years, I think it's been since I just sat down and played through the whole game, or at least attempted to play through the whole game. And just nice to nip as many things in the bud as you can before you go into one of those big play tests. It feels really bad when you get 4 hours in and then you realize, oh, there's this thing we didn't do that we could have done before. Of course, it always feels like that. It just always feels like everything is a thing you could have done, and then you just would finish the game if you did everything. But these ones she has prioritized and put at the top, so I'm going to try to get those. Jebins, hello, welcome. I am using Unity as our game engine. This software is Google Sheets. Those were the softwares. Fahad said, is it right to buy assets from an asset store and add to your game, or should we make assets from scratch? Well, you know, everyone is different. Everyone has a sort of different path. Everyone is a different developer. And clearly there are, you know, commercial games that have done okay with using commercial assets. I mean, I can only speak from my own perspective, but I personally am not interested in buying assets from the asset store, especially well, I say especially art assets, but even code assets, I'm not particularly interested in buying those either, because you know they're just not gonna be exactly the way that we want them. I just feel like, and then we're gonna have to maintain them. And then art assets, of course, the art is very important in our games, and we feel like our game worlds are very special, and we make them special with toil and care and love and craftsmanship as well, and chops. And the people who are selling assets do not have the chops we have, not even close. And then of course we also we like to make very unique worlds, and we want every screenshot from our games to be like, people will see it and they'll be like, wow, what is that? Or if people who know of us, we want them to see a screenshot and be like, oh, that's Eastshade Studios, I know it. I think we accomplished that for Eastshade. I think almost anyone can see a screenshot. Anyone who's played Eastshade or is aware of Eastshade, they can immediately identify it like instantly as this very weird special place. And I don't think that would have been possible if we had been buying a bunch of assets from the assets. But again, everyone's different. That might not be the strength of your studio, or the strength of your personal skill set. You might not be. Like, I'm a AAA 3D artist. I've been doing 3D art for, over 10 years. So that's sort of my jam. So that's our like superpower, or it's one of our superpowers. So that we leverage that. But again, there's just so many roads to Rome, right? There's so many roads to do it. So I don't want to be like a hardliner. Never buy assets. I'm sure it works for some people, but yeah. Devins, first time to watch live. Okay, awesome. Thanks for dropping by. Rock on. All right, I'm glad you're enjoying stream. Alenis has spoken like a true artist. I know. We are that. We are very artsy fartsy. We are super 100%. Every fiber of our being is artist. Things that always come to mind for me is any screenshot could be a page. Beautiful children's book. Yeah, like right. For right now, for Glimmerwick, I feel that way. I feel that Glimmerwick looks really special, and I think that every screenshot. I haven't seen any other games that look really anything like Glimmerwick. I think Glimmerwick is even more unique than Eastshade in its visual style, and hopefully it's very beautiful. But yeah, we would never get. There's not an asset in the world. There's not an asset in the world that we could buy for Glimmerwick. That's actually not true, but there's like some like illustrated stuff. I think we bought like a pack of rock illustrations. I think that's in the game. I think it's heavily modified, but that's just one pack of rocks out of, I think we have like at least 5 rock sets in Glimmer, or maybe even like 7 or something. And Jacqueline hates it. She's like she wants to remove it. But I kind of feel like it works, fills space, but whatever. But for the most part, we can't really buy anything to go in Glimmerwick. It has such a unique visual style. It's, you're not just going to find stuff like that. And the time you spend finding it, you might as well just draw it. Jacqueline draws stuff so fast. It's crazy. And by the time you end up like adjusting it to fit in your game, it probably needs to be projected. It needs, color balancing. It needs, value matching to the rest of the game, all that stuff. So, okay, so this one should be fixed. So, right, we're going to check out those spores. Catchable spores. Right, so we added the little slight crush. I'm going to think about the spores. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to catch up with chat, and then I'm going to be right back, just like 1 minute. Jevin says, watching while coding, rock on. Love the vibing. Senior.net developer, cool. Need some suggestions for your experience to make me best developer. Elena says, I think I remember you mentioning those rocks years ago. Wow. Crazy. Okay, I'm going to be right back. right, so in the dark forest, the idea I've come up with here, I'm going to try to use, we've got two kinds of spores. We've got like kind of spore walls, and then we have little catchable spores. The effect on the spore wall is really easy to see, but the catchable spores are still really hard to see. So I guess I'm just going to like grab these toxic spores. And I'm going to open the prefab, and then we'll go toxic spore. Like, should be a big, is it like toxic cloud or something? Yeah, it is. It's toxic cloud. So here's the toxic cloud prefab. I'm gonna grab that. And we have these just cloud emitters that are like way denser. And I think that maybe we could try to copy one of those. So let's, well, I also really want to make the spores very prominent. So here's the spore. And there's two different colors. So here's, we got toxic spore material. And I will go ahead and check out that material and just increase the brightness of it. I will save that. I also need to make sure we're not actually using that particular material on the actual particle effects in the dark forest that is just falling everywhere. That's one of the things that's making it harder to see the spores, is we actually are using the spores as a sort of ambient effect over everything. I want to make sure that those are different materials. Rock on. Yeah, OBS. There's a lot of settings in OBS. You forgot to give suggestions. Wait, what kind of suggestions are you looking for, Jebins? I didn't know that was a question. So I'm going to try to find the particle effect for the spores. There should be a lot of different spores. So here's toxic spores. Here's the particle effect going over everything. So looking at the render, no, we are using some, you idiot. You should not have done that. You're so stupid. Let's at least duplicate that, and we'll just have to make a version of it. Like, the original one should be called like toxic spore ambience. And we should really reduce the brightness of it, and then we'll call this one toxic spore. Maybe just, well, we want to make sure to give it a different name. Toxic spore catchable, I'll say, just to differentiate it. Lena says, took 10 months off working on healing a TBI, and everything was so messed up when I came back. What's a TBI? What does TBI stand for? Oh no, oh dear. Was it like, well, I don't want to ask a personal question, but thinking like concussion or something. Anyway, I'm so really sorry about that. I hope you're feeling better. I hope you healed up well. Rough. For my software engineer career, it's too broad, Jebins. I don't I don't have any advice. It's so broad. You're just a .NET programmer, you said, right? I'm a video game developer. I own an indie game studio, so yeah, it's a very broad industry. So I can't in any serious way give you any advice that it would be good advice. Trust me. Sorry about that. Fahad says, can you give us some tips about geometry nodes? Because when I do geometry, nodes are so I don't use geometry nodes ever. Just don't use them. I can't really give you any tips about them. Just model everything with my hands. Concussion. Oh, okay. Bad concussion. I had a buddy who got a really bad concussion, and then like 6 months later got another really bad concussion. And it took him a long time to heal from that. You know, he was like was having issues with all kinds of things, and he's hearing like a fuzz in his head and stuff. Very serious stuff. Really sorry about that. Okay, so we're gonna go toxic spore catchable, and then we're gonna go into our toxic spore. We want definitely the prefab here to use the new material. So toxic spore catchable, which should be much brighter. And then I also want to try pasting our cloud in there. And it should be sort of a tight area. So I'm sure that'll make it much easier to see, although it's pretty hard to see right now. So we'll see about that. We have to differentiate it though. It has to be like easy to see. I wonder, I'm gonna make another one and then I'm gonna create a new material. There's toxic cloud. I'm gonna call this one like toxic cloud catchable. We'll try that. And I just want to make a way to differentiate visually for the player. Slow progress, but when a musician I look up to asked if I do a collab, it was super motivating. So I'm pulling all the stops, gonna make it happen. All right, rock on. Gotcha. Oh man, really sorry about that. Yeah, definitely. I can imagine. Well, it sounds like you have a great attitude about it, which is impressive. Okay, so let's do toxic cloud catchable, and then I'm gonna put like some caustic. Probably gonna need some kind of add shader. Ooh. Just like water or something. We need to put something in there. I just don't know what. Water distortion? No. Yeah, it's definitely gonna have to be some kind of caustic. But this doesn't seem like it would fit the bill. Oh, it's a blend surface shader. That can happen. It needs to be an additive shader. So let's go additive ambient surf particle. That might work. Okay, and then I'll just, why can't I see it? Let's try this. I just can't see it at all. Got the right material on it. Toxic cloud catchable, but I cannot see anything. Ambient factor? Maybe it has something to do with the ambient factor? No, it has nothing to do with the ambient factor. That's really strange. Why can't I see anything? Very strange. Like nothing. I'm not seeing anything. Like clearly the particles are going. Like bright orange. No, it's very strange. We might just have to see if it's something about the viewport here, because I'm not seeing anything. Check their noggins, yeah. Yeah, no American football for any of us. Devin says, my friend is a Unity developer who got laid off a month ago, but he still hasn't found a new job. What should he do? Oh, I don't know. It's a hard one. I have no idea. Keep looking for a new job, I guess. Yeah, it's hard. Job market's tough. Economy's tough. I'm gonna go into the dark forest and see if we can see our new caustic cloud. Oops. There we go. Oh yeah. So the spores are easier to see, even though they're really ugly now. It's a shame. But, I mean, players have to be able to see them, right? It's weird. This one doesn't seem to have caustic or a cloud of any kind. I don't know why the cloud is so hard to see sometimes. Yeah, it's just so hard to see because of all the spores everywhere. They do look really cool though, so we have to figure this out. I don't know why those caustics aren't showing up. Let's go to that caustic texture. I don't even know what to do to it. Very strange. One thing before I forget is I do want to go into the toxic cloud and just make sure we're using the correct material here. So it's not going to be toxic spore ambient. It's going to be toxic spore catchable. And it looks so ugly when they're so bright like that. But I think they just have to be that bright because I just think that the players have to see them. I'll darken it a little. I'm sure that's a bad idea. Hey CCP, welcome, welcome. Mind checking out my game I made? I coded it. Well, sure, I'll check out your game. Check it out. Okay. Okay, but it's for playing a game here. Press space. Oh my god, come on now. All right. I'll ban this piece of it. Come on. What is the point? Like, why are you on this planet? Block them. Yep. Forever. Warn. Yeah, right. No, ban them forever. All right. Sorry about that, everyone. Very strange existence, some people. I don't know. I guess they just get a kick out of it or something. No idea. It was relevant too. It wasn't like a spammer because they knew it was a game stream. So there's definitely like a person there that came in. So I just wanted to make sure that this had the correct material on it. Spore catchable, perfect. And I'm still trying to figure out why that toxic spore didn't have the caustics, which I've added. See, they're invisible. It's very strange. Into jump scares, okay. There's the shape. Let's see. Toxic cloud catchable. That is what we're looking at here. And what if I just pick a different shader? So let's do like masked scroller. It must be this texture. It must be using like alpha cutout or something. What about like cave firefly? Okay, so we can actually see that one. Oh, that looks kind of interesting. I wonder if that would something kind of like that to just draw people's attention to it. Not green though. We can't have it green. Okay, so we have to find some kind of texture here. All these ones. None of those are going to work. I'm just picking random stuff. Seeing if anything looks right. I think we should go with the caustics. I can just kind of picture that working. So let's go to our caustic texture. Let's see how high resolution it is. See if we can get, we shouldn't need much. So maybe let's just go down to, I don't know. We just want a small subsection of it. Okay. And then I'll just grab black and we'll just sort of paint out the edges. Okay. And then I'll just really pump up the contrast here. So make sure we have, can see those caustic pieces. I want an even smaller one. I think that even this is going to be too big. So let me just, I'll make it smaller just by painting out more of the edges there. And I'll pump in some of that again. Okay, something like that. And I want the shape to be not like a perfect circle. I want it to be like a slightly more irregular shape. There we go. Looks more like a triangle now. That's fine. And we're just going to check out. So there is no alpha channel. So this truly should work. I'm going to save the, oh, it's a Targa. Maybe that's one of the problems. I'm not sure. But let's save it as a PNG and let's just call it like caustic, toxic cloud. I don't know. Let's put it in the textures folder as a PNG, a toxic caustic cloud. Surely this will work. Surely. Jevons asks, are you a freelancer? No, I do not do freelance because I own Eastshade Studios and our company makes a lot of money. So I don't think anyone would be able to pay me enough to compete with that. But also, it's just kind of what I want to do with my life. I want to make my own games, so I'm in a fortunate position where I making my own games is actually the most lucrative thing that I could do with my skills. So let's do that toxic caustic cloud. Perfect. Okay, so that one's actually working. I don't know why the other one didn't. I really don't. It's very strange. But I'm gonna go pure white, and then so this might just work a little better to just draw attention to it. I want to reduce the sort of range that these things can drift off to. I just want to keep them kind of tightly packed into one little area. And I am going to take a look at that shader and just really make it very faint. I wonder if that will be enough. So let's go to the cloud effects. I'm going to do the same thing with this cloud effect. So I'm going to go to the emission shape, and I just want to keep it tighter so that they don't drift so far off. And it does look like we want a little bit more opacity out of these, a little bit more opacity. Because we're just going to have the one. Potentially, I want to increase the emission too, because I can just barely see these things. I wonder if you just need a ton of them. Yeah, they're just like almost impossible to see. I wonder if they used to be easier to see and there's been some kind of lighting change. I don't know. Sparkles developer, hello and welcome to the stream. Catching up on normal life stuff and game dev has been put aside for a few weeks. I know how that feels. Can't wait till I get time to watch all of your live streams I missed. Oh man. Well. Appreciate that. Appreciate you checking out the live streams. They're very long, so I could completely understand if you didn't watch them all. But maybe they're good to have in the background while you work on stuff. Jevons asks how to play our games. Appreciate you asking. We have a game out called Eastshade, which is an open world adventure game where you play as a traveling artist. It's an RPG game. Kind of like if in Skyrim, if everybody wanted you to paint something instead of everybody wanting you to kill someone. So I just linked to our game there if you want to check out our game Eastshade. I'm gonna check on our Toxic Spores, see if they're a little bit easier to see now. Okay, so they are definitely easier to see, but that caustic stuff is just... First of all, why is it not aligned? It's like, doesn't even... Doesn't even seem like it's that aligned with the spores. Also, of course, they're just like apparating into existence. And they just don't look good. They just don't. They look bad. But I think that the cloud will be enough, even though it's kind of confusing. Doesn't look like the cloud is going away. I wonder what's the deal with that? I'm probably going to have to ask Jenny to make the cloud go away. I might even just look at the code and do it myself right now. Seems like the cloud is enough, but it will be a little confusing. I think players might confuse that cloud with the... There's some like walls. There's walls that are toxic spores, and then there's catchable toxic spores. And we just might need to find a way to differentiate those two things. Okay. So, I also don't quite know why it feels like they're misaligned, but anyhow, let's delete this one, save that, and I'll check out the toxic spore, whatever script is governing this thing. So here's the cloud, first of all. Let me look at what the shape should. The shape should just be tighter. Let's just tighten this up a little bit. Let's just pack it all right in the middle there. Then check out where the dust effects shape is. They really, truly are right on top of each other. I don't know why it sometimes looks like they're not aligned, but hopefully that'll do us better. Catchable bug is the script it's using. Oh, we have a toxic spore script, and then we have visible. Let me check what's going on. So we're scaling the... What are we scaling? Scaling the transform. We're just scaling out the transform. We're linking the particle system. Let me see, does this one have a scale? It does. What we can do, I think, instead of scaling mode using shape, if we actually use hierarchy, yeah, that will actually scale out the cloud. And then if I make the cloud a child of the dust effects, what else happens with this? Scaling mode. Oh, okay, so we're already setting the scaling mode to local in the code. And yeah, I'm pretty sure what we need to do. Sparkle's developer said, I went ADHD hyper-focus for like 3 months working on my game idea. And, had early live streams for Eastshade on in the background. Rock on. That's awesome. I'm trying to figure out where do those early live streams even exist. I think I had like 3 of them up on YouTube and I unlisted them. So think the eShade live streams are kind of hard to find now. Unless my Twitch channel keeps them around, which might be the case. I'm kind of curious if my Twitch channel does keep around really old streams. I thought it only keeps them for 2 weeks. Every once in a while, I'll actually go back and watch an old live stream for like 20 minutes or something. To like, especially if I can find a part of the stream where I'm really inspired. It sounds really weird, but actually watching yourself be really inspired to work on something it has a really interesting effect. I mean, it maps perfectly, right? Because it's you, but it has a really interesting effect of re-inspiring, kind of bringing myself to that same sort of brain state. Maybe, I suppose it could just work even if it wasn't yourself. If you just see someone else working on something and being inspired, maybe it just has the effect of inspiring. So there's the toxic cloud. Oh, did I save that? Did I need to save it? Did it auto-save? Explore. Okay. Oh, right. I just needed to test it now. Let's give it a try. Devin's asked, can I follow you on social media? Yes. That's very kind of you to ask. Social media, I think Blue Sky is probably my biggest one. Twitter is dying, guys. It really is. I'll link to my Blue Sky. I really should replace my Twitter links with Blue Sky links, because for me, Twitter is dying. It doesn't seem like anybody's left there. At least nobody that I followed or interacted with. And nobody interacts with my tweets anymore either. My tweets I used to get a lot of interaction. I used to get lots of people. Everything I tweeted would get like 30 likes at least. People would see it, and potentially I could, bust open one to get like 500 likes or something. That just never happens. Nobody sees my tweets anymore. I'm not paying for Elon Musk's little check. I don't know if it just kind of buries everyone, or if just the sort of people who like our games are just gone from Twitter, but it just seems like Twitter's done to me. So I've been moving to Blue Sky. Plus, I don't really want an oligarch running my social media platform. Political or not, wherever you align politically, you should not want an oligarch running your social media platform. You really, really shouldn't. You shouldn't want somebody directly connected to government heavily funding a particular political person to be running your social media platform. That is terrifying. So I'm kind of glad it's dying. Sparkle's developer says, plan on making a 2.5D anti-cozy cozy game type thing. What's an anti-cozy cozy? What's anti-cozy? Like a violent? Is that with a fixed perspective camera? Oh, interesting. Very interesting. 2D billboarded sprites on a flat 3D plane, adventure type game. All right, rock on. Well, that sounds really interesting. Cool stuff. I do not have an Instagram. So the spores are working very well. First of all, I want to see what happens when I leave the dark forest and then come back in. Do the spores just regenerate? That would be strange. I wonder if they serialize somewhere. Okay, yeah. So the spores are gone for sure. I don't know how many spores I would need. Maybe I should check that out. We should see how many walls it takes. Well, for the potion, so toxic spores, let's go neutralizer. Spore neutralizer. I'm just looking at the recipe. So ingredients, we got toxic spores. Is it just one toxic spore? That's all it needs? Okay. And then I guess I should look in the dark forest and see how many walls, how many spore cloud walls we have to get through and make sure that there's enough player. Jevons asked, how long are you working on this? So there's 3 of us, 3 full-timers working on this game, and we've been working on this game for 6 years. 6 years. I always repeat it because I feel like people won't believe it. They'll be like, surely he must have misspoke. I think when people play it, I think that they'll feel like, I hope they feel the 6 years in there. Let me duplicate the toxic spores. Duplicate a couple of these. So looking for the spore clouds. Here's the cloud. So there's actually only 2 clouds that will block your way. Does this one even block your way? Doesn't seem like it. I'm really gonna have to create collision for this place because I don't think we have collision walls yet. Let me widen, we'll check out the, here's the path blocker. So this one I should just be able to scale, just like crazy straight like that. And we really do need to do so much collision work in the dark forest. It's crazy. Yeah, we're a small team, but we make big games and we just take a long, I mean, you could get like 20 people and try to make the game in a couple of years, or you could just take 3 people and make the game in like, 7 years or whatever. And it would be nice to make games faster because you would get the opportunity to make more games in your lifetime. Because I mean, if we're going to take 5+ years on each game, there's literally not that many games that we can make. I mean, I'm going to die, I'm only going to, I mean, at some point, I don't know if I'll still be able to do this when I'm 70. I don't know if my brain will be sharp enough or if I'll want to. But I only have a certain amount of games. So it would be nice if we could make games faster, but I just don't know if it scales. I don't know if we could make game faster just by hiring more people. Then I'd also think I'd be doing a lot more management. And I freaking hate managing. I hate delegating, and I hate firing people, that's for sure. I hate cracking the whip. I hate basically everything that comes with being a boss. So right now I don't really have to be a boss. There's only 3 of us, so I don't really, that takes up a very small amount of my time, and I just get to work. And I'm good at working. I'm good at making games. So I just think if we hired a bunch more people, I think maybe 5 or 6, that might be the max. And maybe we'll scale up a little bit. We'd have to get to a place where we could actually really capitalize. I think we'd have to just have a team of ninjas and just be really efficient to make games a little bit faster. Sam plus fam, hello, welcome back. Good to see you again. Curious what anti-cozy cozy means. Yeah, me too. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Yeah. Cutesy but grotesque. Okay. So I was looking at all the walls. So I just typed in wall. We've got swamp walls here. You know what? I'll keep the walls up. Let's swamp walls. So there's some walls. Here's a wall. Actually, This is just swamp walls, so there really are no walls in this. I can't believe that. We don't have any dark forest walling whatsoever. Is that actually true? Let me go ahead and go into analysis. Let me look at the physics debugger and show all. Okay, I can't see it. So this doesn't work unless you're in. Doesn't work in prefab mode. That's annoying. Well, we're gonna have to have some walls, but it seems like we only have 2 toxic spore clouds, so we don't really need that many toxic spore catchables. But how many do we have? 4. We've got 4. We've got to place more. Let's just place more. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Swamp should have more, right? Place some around here. Elevate it a little. Put it right on the ground there. Make sure we have enough. I'll put some right here. That'd be cool. You right here. Fun. Maybe I'll put some like right here as well. Player can run up and catch. Should we put some kind of outside of the cave? That might be sweet. Excellent. Okay, now we want to put a bunch more beyond this point. Not that the players will even need that many. But I'd rather have too many than too few, I guess. Oh, I don't quite understand you from maybe where are you from? I live in the Seattle area in the northwestern corner of the United States. Regrettably not in Seattle. Live quite far from Seattle now. We used to live in Seattle. I miss the city. Just placing more of these spores around. Place some in this corner right here. But we had to move because we were having a baby and just needed a bit more space. And it was just going to be insanely expensive to do that in Seattle, like ridiculously expensive. Okay, that should be a lot. Got a lot more toxic spores now. We put one down here. Okay, that's cool. Oh, I love to hear it, Sam plus fam. Love to hear it. Yeah, we call this the Dark Forest. That's the working title anyway, but Jacqueline has named it to the Nocturne. The Nocturne Woods or the Nocturne Forest? I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, it's a different vibe for sure. This is kind of empty. We're just going to have to art that. So much artwork to do, but we're pretty close. We're pretty close, honestly, on this Dark Forest area. That's awesome. So I should probably put a bunch of toxic spores in Dark Forest 2 as well. Let's check out how many clouds we have. I think there's only 1. Devin says, I'm from India. Rock on. Okay, so let's check cloud, toxic cloud. We do have a couple path blocking toxic clouds in here. Just make sure that this one actually blocks the path. I'm gonna widen it out all the way there. Here's another one up here. Make sure that one blocks the path. So that's 2. We'll widen it way out. Just make sure players cannot pass that. Probably doesn't have to be that wide. Are there only 2 toxic clouds? Okay, toxic cloud, another toxic cloud. So there should be. Oh no, there really only are 2, just 2. Okay, fair enough. And then we have barely any spores. That one I don't even think your players are gonna be able to see. So let's just make sure they're all in a spot where players can see. Oh, this one is actually very close to the entrance. So let's just put that over here. Another one over here. I don't really want to encourage players to sort of sneak off there. So there's. Oh wow, these are just right next to each other. Let's maybe move this one deeper in. Really not a lot of it's a very sort of one path sort of forest, and I don't know, maybe it'd be cool to have a little bit more openness. Like some more branches and stuff, but we do have a few branches. Hopefully it's enough. We don't want players to get too lost. I don't really like environments that are just like crazy, like just like confusing and not a lot of visual variety. Like a lot of it's not fair in games when you have a really big environment that is like labyrinthine in its nature, but you also reuse a lot of assets. So it's like visually it's incredibly difficult to tell where you are, right? Because there's so much of the same stuff everywhere. And then you make it labyrinthine and then players are constantly getting lost. It's not fun. We tend to make our game worlds very very easy to navigate, and we pour so much money. Like everything is always custom, so every like inch of the world is just super authored and super unique looking, and players always know where they are. We just don't see a lot of people getting lost in our games. But it would be curious. I mean, I've always been a bit curious about what it would be like to make a game that just had way more space in it, just way more, just less of a grand garden and more, a little bit more wild, open. But I guess so many games are doing that now. It's just like, I'm playing Avowed right now, which on paper should be my jam. But the environments are very. I think the game is great. I think that they're executing at a very high level. I'll start with saying that. But the environments are just kind of. I don't know how to explain them. And it annoys me that I can't put my finger on why I don't like the environments. They're just crazy. Labyrinthine is not the right word, but they're just very busy and just padded out or something. There's like so much stuff, but not a lot of like super unique. I don't get the feeling that every corner is unique. I feel like sometimes I pass a couple corners and I'm like, I feel like I just passed this corner, didn't I? And I didn't. It's a different place, but it felt like vibe wise, it felt exactly like a corner I passed like 40 seconds ago. Okay, I'm glad you dig the name Sam plus Fam. I'm going to tell Jacqueline that she'll be pleased to hear that as well. Sparkle's developer says whole idea bases around a forced cozy environment. Interesting. No grotesque stuff. Unease those sad times in a forced cozy world. Interesting. Okay, so like a dystopian cozy place. Oh, thanks, Sam. Thank you. A bit samey, definitely samey, definitely samey. I don't think overstimulated though. I guess maybe. I mean, like I'll get to an area that forks into like 4 different paths, and I'll, usually I want to know what's down each of the paths, but I don't want to know that bad in Avowed, because I just know it's not going to be, I just don't trust. I don't think that there's anything going to be that remarkable down any of them. Like nothing that unique, nothing that crazy. I just trust that whatever path I go down, it's going to be like 95% jumbled up assets of the same thing that I've already passed, which sounds, I don't know, even using the word like a bunch of the same assets. Obviously, you're allowed to reuse assets, but I can't explain it. It's like the spaces don't feel unique. Like we reuse tons of assets in Eastshade, but you can drop most players, and certainly myself, anywhere in Eastshade, and I'll know exactly where I am. It's also, of course, much smaller than Avowed, but it just doesn't. It doesn't feel like Elder Scrolls either. I feel like Oblivion or Skyrim walking around the world was way more interesting, and the spacing of things and the scale of things and the composition of things and just even like the width of the paths and the size of certain things and just the asset composition was so different. It was like its bones were different, and it feels a lot more grounded and a lot more, I don't know, epic and believable. I can't explain it. I hate that I can't explain it. It's like it annoys me because like I feel like at least a few things are wrong, but I don't know what they are, and that makes me feel like I should like this is my job. I feel like I should be able to unpack this, and I should know exactly what it is, but I don't, and it's frustrating. And I can't help when I play that game. I'm always thinking about it. Like, what is it about this environment? And every time I reach a new environment, I'm like, what is it about this environment that it feels gamey? Maybe it feels too gamey. It doesn't feel believable. Not the assets themselves, I don't think. Although maybe there is some of that. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's just like compounding. It's thousands of little decisions that I feel like are just not quite hitting the mark. I don't know. I should shut up about it. Sam plus Fam says, I've seen several games recently that use the environment to guide, like Ghost of Tsushima used wind, saw another use yellow birds in the sky. Maybe this forest can use fireflies. That would be cool. This forest, though, is so easy to navigate, I don't think anyone will get lost. Yeah, I don't think it's even it's very easy to navigate this forest. I was wondering more about what if we did build an environment where people could get lost. I wonder if that would add something. We've never done it. We never build environments that anyone even comes close to getting lost in. I'm going to walk into the dark forest now and make it start raining. And I'm going to see if it's easier to find the spores. Okay, the spores are much easier to see now. They're still kind of hard to see though because of all of the other spores are still. You know what we might need to rely on is some sort of fast movement. Like every once in a while the spores just like poof or something. Because they are really hard to see. Let me see if I can find another one here. Yeah, okay, I'm seeing them really quickly though. So I think they should be much easier to see now. Sparkle's developer says, more fairy tale magic woods, but yes, dystopia. Main character is a little girl bunny, so it kind of disguises itself as a regular cozy game. Gotcha. Got to be careful with that one. You have to make sure your marketing material, I mean, if this is a commercial game, you have to make sure your marketing materials convey the darkness, because you don't want people thinking it's a cozy game and then going in and not getting a cozy game. They're going to be upset. They're going to be unsatisfied. You got to make sure that there's some ominousness in the trailer, in the marketing material, in the art style and everything. You want people to know what it is for sure. A hard thing. Okay, so I think that that's solved. I do. Let's greenify that. This is a random green briar fox looking in the Nocturne Woods. It is actually a pack critter. So I wonder if that's the only place the pack critter exists. And I wonder if there's a better place that we could put it. I wonder if we should make like a mole hole that goes to it. That would be interesting. Here's a wild pack critter. So let's check out, first of all, let's open the pack critter. The pack critter is in a folder called just straight spine output. So let's go into spine projects and find our pack critter. There it is. I'm gonna put this in game mode and let's just open up our pack critter. Thanks, Squiddies. Epic is a good word. I like epic. Sparkle says, I played this game in the early 90s on PC where you tour in a cave and you just walk out and there is a house teapot. I never knew where I was going. So trippy. Getting lost could definitely be fun. I'm curious what game that was. Yeah, and we're actually using that little critter as a placeholder. Not supposed to look like that. That's a different animal. This is the actual creature that we're finding. I needed to make a skin for this creature, and I wonder how difficult that's going to be. So let's just get it done. Let's just knock it freaking dead. Let's do it. Let's start with the 3/4. Okay, 3/4. And then we're going to go into images. I need a blank. We need a blank. We need a blank in each of the areas because I need to be nulling stuff out. So I'm going to add a new skin. And I'm just going to call it like wild. And add a new skin that, oops. Let's add a new, I think we're going to need 2 skins. Wild and tame. I like backpack. I'll just call it backpack. Okay. And the backpack skin is actually going to do nothing. And I think that that will work. But the wild skin is going to null out this backpack. Actually, it'll null out a few different images. So let's go get a blank image first of all. So here's the images. I'm going to go into Explorer. I'm going to go into our spine folder. So we're in assets, spine projects, and let's go into our player. Come on now. Main rig, what is it called? Main rig update. Is it just called P? I think it might just be called P. No, where are the images? Not 3/4. Where do the images go? Anim sprites, that's where it is. Okay. Anim sprites. And we're going to go into 3/4 and I'm just going to try to find, yeah, P. And then I don't know where the blank sprite is. I might just have to open another instance of Spine because this is not going well. You know what? I'll just search. I'll search blank. I know it's called blank. Here's blank.png. That's what I want. That's all I want, baby. Copy it. Copy. Exit out. I don't need you anymore. Let's copy that. I don't want to copy the path. I just want to copy the file. Why is this so hard? Why can't I copy the file? It's just absolutely bananas. Okay. Oh, there it is. It's right there. I'm stupid. I'm just an idiot. And then we're going to go back to our pack critter. And in the images, we have, I'm going to put a blank in each of these. I don't think you can access images above the hierarchy here. Blank. Okay. Here. C. Back. Okay, so they all should have a blank. Oh, this one somehow lost a blank. I think I accidentally cut it. Okay, here. We're good. And now let's check the images and there's the pack. So for the pack, I'm going to need to add a spine hanger. So new, skin placeholder, pack, and I'll go ahead and put the 3/4 pack. We'll go backpack. Yeah, we'll stick that there. Okay, we'll go backpack and then we'll stick the 3/4 pack. Here we go, in the backpack. And then in the pack, actually, it doesn't even seem like I need to add a blank. I don't really know. That's been like an update or something. I'm not sure. Anyhow, in the 3/4, I'll add the blank here. We also have these little shoulder straps. I'm going to try to blank those out. So let's add new skin placeholder, strap front, and I'll just make sure to put backpack. All of them, add a new skin placeholder. Create strap front. Out real quick. Spelunks and the Caves. Or Misudo. Oh. Huh. Spelunks and the Caves in the 90s, huh? Probably not going to look very remarkable. Oh, interesting. Wow, it actually looks really cool. Oh, it's a Cyan game, huh? Okay, so Cyan would go on to make Myst. Interesting. That's really interesting. Wow. I don't know why I'm nostalgic toward this era. I mean, I didn't even live through it, so 90s is like pre. I was born in 91, so I wasn't really playing games in the mid 90s. But there's something weird and nostalgic about this. I don't know. I also just like knowing that everything is like just very handcrafted and custom made. It's me. Oh, okay. No, actually, that's a long time ago. Okay, there we go. And then let's get this other strap, new skin placeholder. That in there. Okay, and now we go to the wild. Ah, we've got a problem here. Well, this also needs a skin placeholder. Oh, let's make sure to go to the parent slot. Skin placeholder. Okay, backpack. Make sure to stick that flower in there. Okay, we've got a lot of these things to do. Wild. Ah, we have another one right here. Let's get that one. New skin placeholder. I could have sworn I already did this, but maybe I just thought about doing it. Right, let's pop that out. Make sure the backpack. That's okay. And then wild. That, can you actually? That's fine. I think we can have that little wing there. I mean, it's kind of weird, but okay. All right. I don't know if you need a blank, but I'm feeling like it would throw an error or something. I'm just remembering. We have one for our main characters need blanks for every slot that wants nothing in it. I wonder if they just fixed that. Anyway, I'm just going to put a blank in there just because I don't want to export this, only to realize that I have to put blanks in for all this stuff. Sam plus fam says, I hate it when I think so hard about doing something I thought I did it when you noticed you didn't. You feel so gaslit by yourself. Yeah. I think that is what happened. Yeah, I just thought too hard about doing it. Funny. All right, that should be it for one. And then I'll save that. Ooh, no. Cancel. We got a pack critter. We got to make sure to check that out. So it's going to be, here we go. It's going to be in spine projects, pack critter, crack that open. And we're just going to, first of all, check out this file. And put the pack critter in it. This is all going to be spore stuff. So let's go spore arts, spore placements, dark forest, more spore placements, shoring of spore cloud walls, and spore arts visibility improvements. It's an important update right there. And I think that I actually had that on my list. So let's, do the spore clusters have some glow around them? Yeah, that's not going to work. They don't glow. They're just white. All I can do is brighten them. But I mean, I did brighten them, so this is going to take forever. Let's just scroll to the top. Ah! Undo. What did I do? I made a new list. Kill me. Okay. Really having a lot of trouble finding that little. No. Undo. Stop it. Okay. Oh, the lighthouse quest is done. Okay, cool. Spore clusters done. There should be some more spore stuff, I'm pretty sure. Add more spores to catch. Already did that. Spore, shoring of spore walls, I'm pretty sure. Walls. Shore up spore walls. Yeah, well, I've not completely done that. But the card is now gonna be something else, like it's actually called wall up dark forest 1. That's really what it is. Okay. All right, Elena, thanks for dropping by, and I hope you sleep well. Dan Plus says, I do stupid stuff like try to make coffee, but I didn't plug it in. Yeah, Ilya, I do the same sort of stuff. 1 second, folks. All right, so what is this? Has a notification on it. Should I use main or main 2? Oh, that's a good question. Main update for front and back, and main 2 for 3. quarters. Where's the emojis? I want another one. I want a okay hands. Thumbs up, something. So that's that. I will put that in Jacqueline's list. And 2 shrine bars for repaired shrines. I don't even know what that is. Cat critter in forest and habitat needs real art and in water. Well, one thing at a time here. One thing at a time. So here, new skin placeholder. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need 2 new skins. So first of all, let's just start with 1 skin and call it backpack, right? That's exactly the name of the other one. We need to make sure those are aligned. Got 3/4. The skin is called backpack. And stick that in there. New skin placeholder. That one in there. New skin placeholder. That one in there. Just all the parts of the backpack. Here's this little strap. Actually, I wonder if we have to leave the straps. We'll see in a second. Okay, new skin placeholder. Yeah, we'll see. New skin placeholder. All right, there we go. And now I'm going to add a new skin. And we'll call it wild. Okay. And there's just this little space now. I don't think it'll matter too much. Yeah. I'm going to not add the blanks. I'm just going to see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay. Sam says, is there a way to use a find shortcut or search for certain word in the card system to make finding stuff easier when you kind of remember what was on it, but not really well? There is a search in Trello. There's a search, but it's seemingly very weird and unreliable. But yeah, you can search and it'll search the comments of the card and everything. But sometimes we do lose cards and we just don't remember what they're called. We try to keep our lists mostly manageable now. The done list is very annoying. You'll notice this one's called done for. The reason why we call it done for is because once the done list gets big enough, and it's already getting there, then we archive the list and make a new list and we'll call it done 5. Just so when I do a page search, it doesn't steal all the every single word I could ever type is going to be in this done for list, because we just finished so many cards. There's probably, I don't know, there's probably over 1,000 cards in that one list. And then we archive them. And if we ever need to see our work on a card, because a lot of these cards have like comment histories on them that where we're talking about stuff. So we keep those as well in case we ever want to look back on something. It works quite well though. We use Trello in such a rudimentary way. Like we don't even use it the way that Kanban is supposed to be used. Like Kanban boards are supposed to be not divided by person per list. They're supposed to be like, you know, this is a feature request, and then we move the feature into like development, then we move the feature into testing, then we move the feature into done. We don't use them like that at all. We just have like lists. The 3 most important lists are for Danny, for Jenny, and for Jacqueline. And then we have our done. And then these other things are like just like either design docs or like big picture stuff. This is a list of just discussion cards where nothing in here is a job for anyone because we don't know what the heck we're doing. And we just have, we're just discussing something. Kind of a weird way to use it. But works really well. For us anyway. So I'm going to do the last critter here. I'm going to save this. Pack critter back. You know what I also need to do? I definitely need to check out the exported place where this goes. So let me that. The spine outputs. Let's go pack critter. This is where it outputs. I'm going to check out that entire thing. Call this pack critter wild skin. And then add a new skin. Okay. Skin placeholder. And then of course we need to add the actual skin here. We'll do pack. Oops. P should not have been capitalized. And then we'll stick the pack in there. Got these little flower things that also need to go. Skin placeholder. Stick that in there. This one. Stick that in there. And what do we have already? So add a new skin and let's call it wild. Okay, so we have all these little doohickeys, these little sacks. We'll just add a skin placeholder there. We'll make sure we click on the backpack skin and we'll stick the sack in there. 2 sacks, there's 3 sacks on the other side. So let's add, oops, add a new skin placeholder. Another sack here, new skin placeholder, and then the leftmost sack, new skin placeholder, and then this should be pretty simple. We're just going to house each of these images in their skin placeholder hanger thing. I don't even know the terminology of what it's called, but I know how it works. There we go. And there's our little critter, which has no wings, which is fine. We're just, that's how it's going to go. That's just how it's going to go. Okay, cool. So there we've got the skin, wild and backpack. And now we should be able to use that. And I don't even think we're going to be using the front one. I'm pretty sure the critter system only wants one skeleton. So I'm pretty sure we're just going to be using this one, which is fine. But I just wanted it there in case we needed it. Let's export that. Exports, pack critter. No skin attachments. Following warnings. Typically warnings should be fine. One thing I do want to do is make sure we've got the backpack skin. I don't think it matters actually what skin you have enabled. Oh, cool. All right, so added that skin. Now I want to make a new card for Jenny. Right here. The wild pack critter. Let's just say implement wild pack critter spine animations. I've created a wild skin on the pack critter spine animation. Could you use the 3/4 rig? You implement the 3/4 rig to the wild critter version of pack critter. It currently has Briar box placeholder art. All right, sweet. That very quickly. Do it better than me. That should be in. We also need a sleep animation, but that is something I'm going to send to Misaki. I'm not going to mess around with that. So that's all saved. Just make sure it's saved. It's definitely saved. And I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that now and then check out my Perforce. And we've got the Pack Critter Wild Skin. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. Got a few more things. A few more things left on the Toxic Cloud. Don't want to leave those behind. I'll go ahead and save projects. Sometimes that sort of writes. I don't exactly know why, but sometimes stuff gets written when you do that. Okay. Excellent. What else is on here? So, look at this. Random green briar fox in the Nocturne Woods. So that should be, we should be on the scent now for that one. Summer 5, snap taters required for mole potion, but not for sale in summer. Let me find the story with the snap taters. So I'm gonna look at Kavita's shop. So I have spring and summer. Jacqueline's saying snap taters are not for sale in summer, yet I'm seeing them right here. I don't understand that. Okay, let's test it. Test it. So let me go summer. First of summer start settings. First of summer anywhere start settings, and then we will place our player down by Kavita, and we'll just open her shop and we'll see what she's got. We'll see what she's got for sale. Where are you, Kavita? I'll push the time forward. You should be coming. Let's set the time scale to 3. Come on, Kavita. Maybe she only comes at 8. I see her. She's coming. She's coming. I set time scale to 1. Hi, Kavita. What do you have for sale? You have Twilight Blossom, Cucumber, Strawberry, Tomato, Wheat. Yeah, she does not have the snap taters. So we got that wrong. So Twilight Blossom, something with Twilight Blossom and Wheat is her shop. So we need to go to Kavita's NPC data with Twilight, Moon Poppy. So I think with Twilight Blossom and Wheat. I'm not seeing, here it is. So for some reason, her element 4 is what is making her summer list. Let me just look at Kavita's data. So Kavita has probably some kind of component on her that is changing this, right? Can speak, interactive, game object, audio source, seasonal, shop. Here it is. Element 1 is pointing to list 4. So let me see. What was it that Jacqueline was saying? Summer 5, snap taters required for mole potion. So if we just find something else required for the mole potion on Kavita's element 4, that will align better in summer. Twilight Blossom, Lavender, nothing really works. I think I want to go tell Jacqueline about this actually. Sam says, Think you'll do more playtest, or are you so close now it's not really necessary? Oh no, we'll definitely need more playtests. Definitely. We have the demo and we have the full game, and we have to figure out how to balance. I know we definitely need more playtests on the, well, both, but yeah, we're gonna have a demo. We're gonna have to really test the shit out of the demo for sure before we release it. So I imagine we're gonna have to have another 20 to 40 people test the demo. Folks, I'm gonna be right back. Right. That. Sam says, if we have the full game wishlisted, does that mean Steam will notify us when the demo is available? Yes, that is how it works. So when we make a demo and release it, Steam gives us a button that we can push within 2 weeks. I don't know why they do the within 2 weeks thing. Seems like they should let you do it whenever you want, but we have a button that we can push that will email everyone who has the game wishlisted. So as far as I know, there's no way to wishlist a demo. Don't think. Yeah. But yeah, you'll get an email as well. And do you have, Sam, have you applied for the beta? No, I've put the beta in the... I'll drop the beta again, the beta application form. We will have more people test the beta. I'll make sure to get you in there. So there's a couple more people who've applied. Let me just, oops. You want to play the demo, the demo is quite polished. The demo is like not, I just did a link there to the beta for anyone who wants to apply. The full game is probably a bit rougher right now to test. We haven't sent out, nobody's beta tested the full game, but we will be doing that shortly. Anyway, I think I actually have to roll. The night is quite young, but I have really, fortunately, I went into the stream somewhat hungry, and I thought, you know, it's okay to be hungry. You can be hungry for a while, but now I'm very hungry and I have to go. Very sad news. But we had an extraordinarily efficient 2 hours. I'm really happy with that. Very pleased with that indeed. Om nom nom, hello, and thank you, and good night to you as well. And hopefully I'll catch some of y'all next time. All right, see you, everybody.